Hello everyone, this is Rexer from the YouTube channel NotQuiteThereGaming, and today I have for you another Warframe video. This time it's gonna be a Trinity build. I've also been fiddling with my microphone settings and processing effects and such, noise removal, whatnot. Let me know if the sound quality has improved compared to my other videos. If not, I have a new microphone coming at me in the mail. I'm very excited for it. Anyway, let's get to the build. This is a super fantastic, high-level, high-octane, incredible build. Actually, it's just a basic build illustrating an interesting and fun concept. I find this build functional for me, and you should probably take it and refine it a bit. But it's certainly not on the same level as my other builds, Loki, Nova, Nyx, etc. I don't actually like playing Trinity that much, so this build fits the purposes I have for the times that I do play her. The problem for me with Trinity is she isn't a fast Warframe and she doesn't especially benefit from enemy sets. And if you watched my other videos, you know that I really love those things. Let's get to the build. First of all, obviously a reactor, 2 formas, and we gave her a tactical polarity and changed her aura polarity. Why change her aura polarity? Well, you guessed it. The same aura that I've always been slotting. Energy Siphon is gonna go right in there. Energy Siphon, as I've said, gives passive energy regeneration where there usually isn't any. It also helps all your teammates, so it stacks with their auras if they have energy siphon as well. It's individually not that strong, but easy to justify. So that's why I usually slot it, and I like Warframes that use a lot of energy, so that's pretty much the go-to aura for me. Next, we will be slotting Well of Life, which isn't that important for this build. It's Trinity's first ability, and it stuns a target and also makes it so that when you shoot it or your friends shoot it, they gain health regeneration. But this isn't a requirement for this build because of her ultimate, which we will be making use of quite a lot, which is basically the linchpin or the main focus point of this build. But it's fun to have for comboing with her next ability, which is Energy Vampire. Now, Energy Vampire has been changed along, I wanted to say years, but it hasn't been that long, along the months that I've been playing Warframe. It used to be about the same as Well of Life, as in you got energy back depending on how much damage you did to the affected target. But they've changed it so that it pulses 4 times, and anyone within the area of the affected target pulsing gets energy restored. Why is this a good combo with Well of Life? Because Well of Life increases the maximum health of the target that is affected, and Energy Vampire requires that the target remain alive for all 4 pulses. Now, a Well of Life isn't required, and actually you gain a little bit more energy back from Energy Vampire if you don't use Well of Life, because obviously it cuts into your energy regeneration if you use another ability. But if you're in a pickup group, you're gonna need to increase the target's health, or they'll just shoot it remorselessly. Either way, both of these skills aren't actually that much of a requirement for Trinity, because you spend 25 energy for this, 50 energy for this, you get 4 pulses of 25 energy, and that means that you only have a net benefit of 25 gained energy. This benefits your teammates more, and it would benefit you a lot more if you were to employ power strength enhancing mods, which increase the energy return from energy vampire. But it isn't a requirement. I basically kept these two to help out the team, and because I wanted to practice them, and because even 25 energy back can be useful in certain situations. The next ability slot will remain open because I have a surprise for that. And her ultimate is Blessing. Blessing is awesome. It's fantastic. Why is Blessing fantastic? Because it has no range limitation. And it restores your health, your teammates' health, and makes you all invulnerable. That includes your sentinels. Why is this fantastic? Well, I've just said so. Why? I've just said the reasons why it's fantastic. It makes you invulnerable and heals you up all the way. It's got the cost of an ultimate, which is a limiting factor. But in making you invulnerable, it leaves room for some interesting enhancements. Namely, the invulnerability period can be enhanced with mods, and that's exactly what we will be doing today. So, the biggest duration enhancing mod that we can slot is Narrow-Minded, as usual. It's an Orokin only vault, Orokin vault only mod, and it has a drawback, but we don't really care that much about it because we don't really use range for Trinity. This has Blessing has an unlimited range, and Will of Life applies to anyone shooting the target. Energy Vampire is indeed affected, but you can see the range that it affects when it pulses, so you can adjust, and the target is stunned, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem if you choose to use this combo anyway. The next one, next mod that we will be starting is Constitution. Constitution is a Nightmare Reward mod. It has the power duration enhancement and the useful knockdown recovery that isn't so much of a focus of why we are using this mod. We are using this mod to get as much power duration enhancements into this build as possible. And the next one would be Continuity, the last power duration enhancing mod. This is the bread and butter power duration enhancing mod. It's been around for a long while. Now Trinity also has a helmet that enhances power duration. The Aura helmet increases power duration but adversely affects health. This is unfortunate, but we have to take the hit. We will also be enhancing her health, which is in a sense a paradox, but we need that power duration enhancing effect from this helmet. So it's not something we can do without. Now that we've increased Blessing's duration to maximum, which by the way goes up to 28.2 seconds. That's half a minute of complete invulnerability. We will have to reduce its cost with the ye olde friendly streamlining. Here you are. And also we will be adding flow. Now flow isn't a requirement. It's never truly a requirement unless you're playing a Warframe that has low energy, a low energy pool. This isn't the case for Trinity, but it is the case for other Warframes like Ash and so on. For Trinity it is not a requirement, but it gives you a nice friendly buffer of energy that you can work with. Sometimes you might be a little bit starved for energy orb drops. Sometimes you're going to be swimming in them. Flow helps you take in the abundance and deal with the drought. Because we're using Streamline, Blessing will be costing about 70 energy out of a total of 450 with Flow at level 30, I believe. And that gives Trinity a total casting of about 6 blessings, I believe, without restoring her energy. And that, as I said, with the duration enhanced to 28.2 seconds, is 3 minutes of non-stop, almost non-stop invincibility, which is more than enough to find some energy orbs or get the hell out of Dodge. The next mod that we will be slotting is, as I've said, to enhance her vitality. And it's called Vitality. Yep, straightforward. Why enhance her health? Well, because of the last mod that we will be using. But also because, as I've mentioned in my low-key build, while he is not invulnerable, like Trinity is, and like Trinity's teammates are literally invulnerable, the downside of one of the major downsides of Loki's invisibility was that he has to recast it. And it's the same for Trinity. There is also a 1.2 second recast delay, I believe. So it's not an instantaneous effect. And while you're not invulnerable, you will want to take cover, obviously. But if you can't take cover by increasing your health and effective health points, is going to keep you alive long enough for the new casting of Blessing to kick in. Why Vitality specifically? Why not Redirection to enhance her shields? Well, it synergizes really nicely with the last mod that I will be starting, which is Rage. Rage is a common, that is, it drops from normal mobs in normal missions mod, but it's rare to get. So you might be lucky, you might not be lucky, but it's worth it, especially for Trinity. I think that Rage is a very nice synergy with the rest of this build, because with increased vitality and Rage, while Trinity is vulnerable, she can take a little bit of health damage, which goes into her energy pool by 40%. Her energy pool is boosted enough to accept all of the damage that is converted into energy from her increased vitality. The efficiency of her energy is boosted so that she can cast more blessings, which blessings, of course, regenerate her health to full and give her temporary invulnerability. This combo can give Trinity essentially infinite energy, but it is limited by the fact that higher level enemies will be able to kill you pretty fast. So you can't just take a little bit of chip damage, get a little bit of energy out of that, and cast Blessing again. It will become a problem at high levels of enemies, when facing high levels of enemies, that you won't be able to use Rage at all, because they will be one-shotting you when you're vulnerable. In that sense, this Trinity build is not equipped to handle very high levels of enemy encounters and missions, very high levels of defensive waves and such. But while getting there, until you get to that point where you can't use rage, where your vitality, where your health is not enough to absorb that damage you take when you're recasting Blessing, while you're getting to that point, you're going to be invulnerable. Need I say more? Your team is going to be invulnerable. You're going to be invulnerable, and you're going to be helping your team be invulnerable. It can't get any more awesome than that. Now, you will need one more point to max out Vitality. It's going to cost a lot. One more point to max out Narrow-Minded. It's also going to cost a lot. And if you want, you can replace Flow with Fleeting Expertise, as I keep mentioning in almost all of my builds. It's gonna give you maxed out power efficiency. Power efficiency maxes at, I believe, 75%. So it's gonna overflow a bit, but it's also gonna reduce power duration. If you think that you are not vulnerable to the recast windows of Blessing, and you just need more castings of Blessing, using Fleeting Expertise instead of Flow, for example, is a good idea. You could also use it instead of Rage, but you're gonna have to juggle Flow into Rage's slot and Fleeting Expertise into Flow's slot because of the way that overcharging works. It overcharges 3 for Fleeting Expertise and only 2 for Rage and Flow. So it's gonna look something like this. And you're gonna have enough points for that anyway. As I said, this is a concept build. I don't play Trinity that much, but it does the job, and as long as you don't expect to do a lot of running, it's a very fun build. And especially, it's fun when you use an Ogress as a point-blank shotgun because you're invulnerable. Try that. Anyway, this has been it for my Trinity build. If you've enjoyed this video or found it informative, please remember to subscribe for more. And I've got to go because I've got alerts to do and games to play. Toodaloo!